I'm sure you've all heard of the global climate change crisis. Imagine a post-apocalyptic-esque world where floods, drought, and mass extinctions dominate the world we all call home. Planet Earth is in dire straits. The responsibility falls on the human race. We have been the cause of this dramatic change, and we will in turn be responsible for whether or not these changes define the world we live in for the years to come. Or if we define just how severe these changes actually are. But how can we be the change we want to see in the world? Climate change and its long, sharp fangs continue to dig deeper into this planet and the different life forms that call this place home. This is a terrifyingly real phenomenon that is largely man-made. We've seen the effects in many places already. Geographical locations forever characterized by the resources and climate typically found there have simply changed for the worst. The Arctic is melting, river basins in Asia are beginning to dry, African cities like Cape Town, South Africa are counting down the days until they run completely out of water for public use. And coastal cities scramble to develop budgets to prepare for coastal flooding. This is a problem that without proper action will only escalate to a more deadly and dangerous hindrance for humanity. But the time is long past for learning about climate change and its potential. Now is the time to take action. But what can we do as simple citizens of the Earth in an effort to slow climate change? Well, there are plenty of actions to be taken. One of those things would be carpooling, or driving a more eco-friendly car. According to cotap.org, carpooling can cut your individual yearly carbon output by nearly 40%. So as you can see, those two options can cut down your individual contribution to climate change dramatically. Another thing you may not have thought about would be simply planting a tree. A solid source of oxygen and a potential habitat for all kinds of species, green life thriving in the proper habitat can promote a sort of safe zone for wildlife. You can help protect our oceans by avoiding plastic products, or if that's impossible, recycle plastic products. According to Business Insider, there are numerous startup companies investing in plastic alternatives that can help change the fate of our oceans. That also goes with buying biodegradable products that you could even delve into cutting down the use of aerosol cans or anything else that emits CO2. Biodegradable products are not entirely harmless, however they are much safer to be put into landfills than plastic or rubber, which can take thousands of years to degrade. All of those things I mentioned can be very helpful towards slowing the effects of climate change. However, if we really want to take a shot at investing in the future of this planet, at living in a safe and clean environment and enjoying the wonders of nature that we have all at one time or another taken for granted, I have one suggestion that stands head and shoulders above all others. Vote for legislators who take climate change seriously and who are proposing bills, laws, and have shown initiative towards caring for the environment. Legislators who propose tariffs on CO2 emissions and tax breaks for community-friendly companies, meaning companies who are responsible for their waste. When people tend to think of themselves as just one person who can't make that much of an impact individually, they often forget that they have the power to vote and put other people with your ideas into positions of power. Government officials often have the power to propose ideas that can affect corporations and even other countries' CO2 outputs. Money always seems to be the objective, however. So legislators can find ways to make corporations like the meat industry, who according to NASA.com and RJ, are responsible for anywhere between 30 and 55% of worldwide carbon emissions, want to cut back on their negative impact through tax cuts and other incentives. I implore you to do research and really consider casting your vote in favor of those who have our planet's best interests at mind and at heart. Helping to make the big push, the big change this planet so desperately needs at this crucial juncture by voting in its history will certainly contribute to a better future. Every vote and every little bit counts. So thank you for listening so patiently, and I surely hope that today you all heard the call to action. So that way in 50 years, when we're living in a planet that is in its best shape possible, you can all feel responsible.